Made by Mike with 2 eyes. Hi guys, this is Mike and this will be a shootout between 3 different single coil Strats, the Fender Player, the Fender Player Plus and my beloved Squier Classic Vibe 60s. Let's get straight into it and let's check out the differences between these guitars first. Obviously there's the price, but also both players are made in Mexico while the Squier was produced in China. I checked the serial numbers, both players were made this year and the Squier last year. The body material is older on both players and NATO on the Squier. According to the internet, NATO seems to be a more affordable yet more environmentally friendly tone wood alternative to mahogany. Obviously the color is a little bit different, but as you can see in the background here, I think they all look pretty cool. The neck shape is different, with the players having a modern C and the Squier a regular C neck shape, as is the neck finish. Both players are sporting a cool satin finish and a skunk stripe, while the Squier has no skunk stripe and a glossy finish that is also tinted for an authentic 60s look. As you can see, the fingerboard material is also different and the new Fender Player Plus has pearloid dots, but hey, so does the Squier, while the old player has regular black dots. Furthermore, we have a different fingerboard radius on the Player Plus and one major difference on the fretwork. The Squier has 21 frets that are narrow tall as opposed to the 22 medium jumbo frets of both players. What's cool though is that the Squier Classic Vibe is the only guitar here with a real bone nut, which I think is a really cool addition on such a budget-friendly instrument. The tuners are different on all 3 instruments, as is the hardware, the tremolo system, and of course these 3 guitars have 3 different sets of pickups. And last but not least, it is noteworthy that the Player Plus features a push-pull pot that lets you add the neck pickup to either both pickups, so all 3 are engaged at the same time, or to the bridge pickup alone, which is a great tonal option in my opinion and something which we will talk about later. Okay, so with that out of the way, let me give you my first impressions on these guitars. First impressions is in air quotes because actually approximately 1 year ago I already made a shootout between the Fender Player and the Squier Classic Vibe 60s, with the Classic Vibe being the clear winner back then. It just felt better, it had a nicer neck, it had rounded neck edges, the quality of build was better and the sound was also better. And I'm afraid to say that this exemplar has the same issues that the last one had 1 year ago. So the neck edges are still pretty sharp and I see small errors and mistakes in the lacquer, small blemishes all over the place. And also, no matter how long I play this guitar, I just can't get warm with the neck on this thing. It has a satin finish and on paper it's the exact same neck as on the Player Plus. But if there was one word that I would use to describe this neck, it would be cloddish. It just feels so unsophisticated and clumpy and simply not good. I have no fun playing this neck. And it says something about the quality of the Classic Vibe 60s that even there the neck feels 100 times better. But what about the Fender Player Plus? Well, when it comes to the neck and the overall quality of build, I have good news. The neck is now a clear upgrade and very fun to play. Obviously, it's not the super fast state-of-the-art neck of the Fender American Ultra that I tried a year ago and which featured the probably fastest neck that I ever played, but it's definitely in that territory. And what is also funny is that Fender obviously took the criticism to heart and invested in rounded neck edges. And I guess they are so aware of that criticism that they even printed that on their little sticker here. Also, the quality of build and the quality of the used hardware is a step up. The lacquer is spotless, there are no blemishes or mistakes anywhere to be seen. I like the addition of the locking tuners and I like the look of this tremolo system. If there would be one tiny complaint, it's that this push-pull pot here feels quite stiff. I can't really pull it out with my fingers, but I found this workaround with my pick, and that works great. I reckon though that in time this problem will dissolve itself as the pot gets more loose. So what about the Squier in comparison? Well, when it comes to the quality of build, it clearly beats the Fender Player. And in comparison to the Fender Player Plus, when it comes to the quality of build, well, I'd say we are 95% there. The lacquer on the back of the neck is a matter of fact, but as I said in one of my last videos, But truth be told, this is one of those cases, the more you play, the less it is an issue. It's either because your left hand naturally sands the lacquer a little bit, or it is because you simply get used to that little bit more of resistance. I guess it's a little bit of both really, but in any case, after 1 year, this is a non-issue. Right, so those were my first impressions. Now let's listen to some samples. And after that, I'm going to give you my personal opinion on these guitars. See you later and enjoy the samples. Hi guys, welcome back and I hope you like the samples. Here's now the part where I'll tell you my personal opinion on these three beautiful instruments. But before we do that, here's a friendly reminder. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You know, these types of videos take a long time to shoot and edit, and your subscription would be greatly appreciated. Thanks. Okay, so let's make this short and sweet. If I had to rank these guitars from worst to best, in third position would, without a doubt, be the old Fender Player. And the reason for that is because simply it feels like a clumsy instrument. I do get that it's the cheapest Strat by Fender, but when the only thing that this guitar is going for itself is the Fender logo on the headstock, it's simply not good enough. The neck feels bad, the sound is nothing to write home about, the hardware is mediocre, there are small blemishes and errors in the lacquer, and it's still $350 more expensive than the Squier Classic Vibe. That's a terrible cost-performance ratio, although I have to say that I like the color the most out of these three guitars. So if the old Fender Player is ranked at place number 3, which one is second best and which one is the best? Well, I thought long and hard about this, and the answer is they both are number 1. And here's why. The Fender Player Plus has the better hardware out of the box, it has a really comfortable satin finished neck, and I really like the option to add the sound of the neck pickup to the sound of the bridge pickup. The Squier on the other hand is way cheaper, equally as nice when it comes to the body lacquer. It does have a glossy neck, but one quickly adjusts to that. And I feel the most important thing, the sound, I feel, is better on the Squier. There, I said it. I'm sure a lot of man-hours went into designing these new noiseless pickups on the Player Plus, and as far as I can tell, they do a pretty good job at cancelling out unwanted noise in the background. But they still suffer a little bit from that overly clean, almost sterile, a little bit lifeless, noiseless pickup sound. It's as if you always had a little bit of compression going on and a little bit of treble loss. There's no sparkliness in these pickups and not enough life, at least for me. And not only that, you know, after I finished recording these samples, I sat down with both the Squier and the Player Plus and compared more for like 2 or 3 hours. And yeah, it's just true. There's something in the sound, there's no warmth, there is no life. They sound kinda sterile. And I had a really hard time finding even one amp setting where this guitar would really shine, especially in comparison to something lively as the Squier. So all in all, I would have to say the Player Plus is a great guitar, but I don't like its sound and I feel it's overpriced. Especially when you compare it to something like the Classic Vibe that costs almost half of what the Player Plus does and feels comparable and sounds better. And I have to be honest, I actually did think about upgrading the pickups on this guitar, but every time I sit down to play it, I really feel they hit a home run with these pickups in this guitar. I have no idea how these pickups would sound in another guitar, but in this guitar, with this tone wood and this hardware and everything, they sound awesome. So, what is my conclusion to all of this, I hear you asking? Well, it's threefold. First, I would not recommend the Fender Player to anyone under any circumstances. I mean, if you do get it for free, fine I guess, but don't spend money on it, especially when there are both cheaper and more expensive options out there. Secondly, I can imagine the Fender Player Plus being a great instrument for people that insist on having the Fender logo on the headstock, that play a lot of live shows, that don't want to use a noise gate, and that simply need those noiseless pickups in a guitar. In that case, in that scenario, I think that the Player Plus might be the perfect instrument for you. And the last lesson I learned is how lucky I was finding that Squier. You get so much guitar for so little money, and I have not regretted buying this guitar for even 1 second. On the contrary, I like it so much that I splashed out for Fender locking tuners and this Perloid pickguard and backplate. That's how much I like it. And I guess my next project will be adding a push-pull pot and trying to wire that the neck pickup adds to the bridge pickup. I really like the option on the Player Plus. But yeah, so that's my conclusion, that's my opinion. Guys, let me know what you think about these guitars in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you next time on another great, thrilling, gear-related video of mine. Have a good one, see you next time, bye.